Welcome to the On the Edge podcast with your host.
Sara has to become Sara Skelton and grow up and do real estate. And what's that transition like? Obviously, it had to do with starting a family and having kids. But how do you go from like rock star to real estate? I mean, I know that you're a rock star real estate agent, but is there a letdown there, or is it a different type of satisfaction?
It's a different type of satisfaction. There's things that I think my spirit loves about real estate. I love the fact that I make my schedule. I love the fact that if I want to work with somebody, I can, or if I don't have to. I love that it's flexible. I love being around people. I love the socialization of it. And I try and project what I want in life, which is I want my clients to be fun and cool and interesting. And so you'll see that my clients, a lot of them have tattoos and a lot of them are musicians. And I'm not a stuffy, but it's given me flexibility and freedom. And financially, obviously, it's been great. I didn't know what it would be like when I got into it, but it felt very natural. And I think it really works well with my personality. I'm really A-type, and I'm always seeking out opportunities subconsciously. I think I seek out opportunities subconsciously. Like, for example, going through the Craigslist ads every single day and just typing in female drummer or just drummer and seeing what popped up and applying to every single thing. That's always how I've lived my life. So people would always say, you're so lucky you have these crazy experiences. But when I broke it down, my luck was always created from a random opportunity by me subconsciously seeking opportunities. It's the people that say I never win anything, but they never enter into any draws. It's the same kind of mentality. So it really worked with my personality. I had a really great mentor when I started, which I think gave me a really big heads up. And yeah, it just seemed very natural to me. I love driving around. I love seeing houses. I love houses, different styles and layouts. And so it just became really natural. And then I started making really good money. I mean, I made more money in 1 month than I probably did in 10 years if you added up all the drumming gigs that I'd done, with really no specialized training towards real estate other than doing the exam and taking the real estate course. So it really, but for every real estate agent that does well, there's 95 others out of 100 that don't do a sale in a year. So by the second year, I was a top producer, which again, I don't think it's necessarily about working hard. I think it's about creating opportunity and doing what works, not necessarily the hours. It's how you use the hours. So that's always kind of been my motto.
Yeah, and something that I'm always impressed with you and a couple other realtors that I've worked with is like there seems to be those realtors that are just, and it's fine. They're kind of going from deal to deal. And then there's realtors that really run their business like a business. And I know even being back in the Yukon, you have team members here. You're still running a very successful corporation in, California with other people doing the agent stuff and whatnot. And now you're selling real estate up in Canada. So, when I think of the party animal, artistic drummer, free spirit, I don't think of somebody that could then pivot to like run their business like a business, right? It's that clearly a fallacy that creative people also can't be business people. So what do you think it is about you or about your time drumming or about your childhood where you can make that pivot from like, oh, I just want to be a free spirit and play music to like, oh, now I have a business to run and I see the opportunity and I want to run it like a business? That doesn't seem like a very natural transition.
Well, what's funny is I always ran my bands like a business. So although we didn't necessarily make a ton of money, we were very organized. Whether it's, for me, it wasn't so important to make money. It was important to get people to our shows. And that doesn't always necessarily correlate with a big paycheck. But to me, if I'm playing a show, I want people to be there. So we were very organized. We had split up. I booked all of our shows. I did all the contracts. I would do a lot of the marketing. We would have a band meeting at least once a week, usually twice a week. We would determine the songs. So we were actually quite organized. And I was always the one that was, okay, guys, these are our goals. This is how many people each of you need to bring to the show. This is what time we're going to be there. This is what load in is. These are the songs. So I always did organize. And actually, I started helping my friends' bands too by semi-managing them, by helping book shows and doing marketing. And so I think that became, and I remember joking because the first time I got business cards, I was like, fuck it. I put a drum set on them with my info on the back. So just a cool flaming pink drum set on a black card and my info on the back. And all the real estate agents at my brokerage were like, I don't understand. Like, that's not real estate. And I'm like, doesn't matter. It's interesting. So if somebody sees that card, they're going to pick it up and be like, huh, it's a drum set. That's cool. Are you a drummer? And it's like, of course. Are you a musician? Yes, I am. So I don't know. It was, to me, it actually felt like a pretty natural pivot. And again, I'd done personal assisting for musicians. So I worked for Mick Fleetwood, who is a drummer. And it's interesting. Drummers often are businessy people because we're very well, I wouldn't say I'm not analytical, but there's drumming and numbers and counting and time and consistency. And yeah, so I think drummers actually are good with business. And I always had our money and I always ordered the merch and decided, how much we should order. So yeah. Yeah. So it actually felt pretty natural.
So you did have all those same skills. You just figured out one day, hey, I can put these skills to something that actually makes money.
Right. My parents were thrilled. They were thrilled. I remember my dad saying something to me like, and actually my parents were amazing. They really taught me how to manage money. So I thought we were poor growing up. It turns out my parents are just really freaking good with money. So they saved everything. They didn't spend money on stupid things. They always saved. And I think a lot of it comes to do, with their generation. My mom, they're almost, my dad's 83. My mom's in her late 70s. So my mom grew up in Poland, that long ago, where you would have to stand in line to buy butter.
Yeah. Post World War II.
And they would maybe have meat once a month or once every 2 weeks. And she never wasted anything, but they were always really, really, really good with money. And that's something they've taught me. I've always been very good at managing money. And I always learn, no matter how much you make, it's what you spend. So I like nice things. I love traveling. I'm an air mile fanatic. I've learned all the loopholes and things. I've traveled. I don't think I've bought a plane ticket in 20 years, and I've been all over the place. So I've learned the system, the credit card journey. There's all sorts of random skills that you can use, which my brother taught me a lot of that. When we were 16 or 17, we learned that if you got a credit card, they would send you these checks in the mail and you'd get 1 air mile for every dollar on the check. So my brother would write me a check for $10,000 and then write him a check for $10,000. And we just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And we would accumulate like tons of miles. And then they stopped doing the checks. And we were convinced that it was because of us.
Amazing.
In the Yukon, they're like, those damn kids have figured out a loophole. We got to stop it.
Stupid Canadians traveling for free.